Imagine waking up every day, rolling out of bed, and immediately being bombarded with noise, emails, notifications, responsibilities. Most people step into their day reacting instead of leading. But what if I told you that the secret to success, to fulfillment, to waking up with energy and purpose isn't in what you do, but in what you ask? The questions we ask ourselves in the morning shape everything. They determine our focus, our decisions, and ultimately our legacy. So today, I want to share 7 questions that, if asked every morning, will transform the way you approach your day and your life. Purpose isn't something we stumble upon, it's something we actively define. Before you get lost in the to-do lists and obligations, ask yourself, why am I doing what I do? This single question shifts your mindset from obligation to intention. Science and experience tell us that gratitude rewires our brains. But here's the trick. It's not about making a long list. It's about deeply feeling the impact of just one thing. When you start your day with gratitude, you condition your mind to see possibilities instead of problems. We live in a world that rewards busyness, but being busy isn't the same as being productive. Clarity comes from focusing on the one thing that will create the biggest impact today. Everything else is secondary. It's easy to focus on our own needs, but true fulfillment comes from contribution. Whether in business, leadership, or relationships, the question isn't what can I get, but how can I serve? Ask yourself, who needs my leadership today? Who needs my encouragement? Every day we wake up with beliefs. Some empower us, others hold us back. Maybe you think, I'm not good enough, or I'll never get that opportunity. But what if you questioned that belief? What if you replaced it with a better one? Growth begins when we challenge the narratives that no longer serve us. Comfort zones are great for relaxation, but they are terrible for growth. Progress happens when we push beyond our fears. If you want a different life, you must be willing to do things that make you uncomfortable. What's one bold step you can take today? This is the most powerful question of all, because one day you will wake up and it will be your last. How will you love? How will you lead? What legacy will you leave behind? These aren't just questions, they are a roadmap, a way to align your day, your energy, and your purpose with what truly matters. The world doesn't need more people who are just busy. It needs people who are intentional. So tomorrow morning, before you pick up your phone, before the world demands your attention, ask yourself, who am I becoming? Because that, my friends, is the question that changes everything. Before you start your day, before you even step out of bed, there's one fundamental truth that will determine the quality of your decisions, your actions, and ultimately your life. Clarity drives purpose. Clarity is the foundation upon which everything else is built. It's not just about knowing what you need to do today. It's about understanding why it matters. It's about having a deep and unwavering sense of who you are, what you stand for, and where you're headed. Without clarity, we don't just drift, we react. And when we react, we allow the world to dictate our direction instead of choosing our own. Think about the most successful, fulfilled, and impactful people you admire. They are not simply busy, they are intentional. They don't just wake up and see where the day takes them. They wake up with a mission. And that mission comes from clarity. Clarity isn't something we are born with. It's something we cultivate. It requires us to pause, to reflect, and to ask ourselves the difficult questions that most people avoid. Am I making decisions that bring me closer to my purpose, or am I just going through the motions? Most people don't take the time to ask these questions. They wake up, check their phones, scroll through notifications, and immediately start responding to the demands of others. But without clarity, we confuse movement with progress. And being busy is not the same as being effective. When you lack clarity, everything feels important. Every opportunity seems like a good one. Every demand on your time feels urgent. But when you have clarity, you know what to say yes to, and more importantly, what to say no to. You stop chasing every distraction and start focusing on what truly moves the needle in your life. Imagine 2 people starting their day. One wakes up with no clear direction, letting the day unfold however it chooses. The other wakes up with clarity, knowing exactly what they need to accomplish and why it matters. By the end of the day, who do you think will feel more fulfilled, more accomplished, more in control of their life? Life is unpredictable. Challenges will come, obstacles will appear. But when you are clear on your purpose, setbacks don't shake you as much. You don't get easily discouraged because you understand that every struggle is part of a bigger picture. You see the obstacles not as roadblocks, but as stepping stones leading you toward your greater vision. Without clarity, setbacks feel like failures. With clarity, setbacks become lessons. And that shift in perspective makes all the difference. People often ask, what's the secret to success? And while there is no single answer, one thing is always true. Consistency beats intensity. It's not about what you do once in a while. It's about what you do every day. Clarity gives you the focus to show up consistently. It removes the guesswork. Instead of wondering what your next step should be, you already know. And that consistency over time creates extraordinary results. At the end of the day, you will be remembered not just for what you did, but for why you did it. Your clarity of purpose is what will define your impact. It's what will inspire others to follow your example. It will ensure that your life was lived with meaning, not just motion. So before you start your day, take a moment to reflect. Who are you? What do you stand for? What truly matters to you? Because once you have clarity, everything else falls into place. Great leaders, successful entrepreneurs, and people who live with purpose all have one thing in common. They ask themselves better questions. They don't just go through life reacting to circumstances. They challenge their own thoughts, beliefs, and actions. Because the truth is, the quality of your questions determines the quality of your life. Most people live on autopilot. They wake up, follow the same routines, and respond to whatever comes their way. They ask small limiting questions like, but extraordinary people, the ones who create impact, build empires, and inspire others, ask different questions. Self-inquiry is a superpower because it shifts your mindset from victim to leader, from passive to proactive. The moment you start asking yourself better questions, you start getting better answers. And that changes everything. Most people feel lost not because they lack potential, but because they haven't taken the time to ask themselves what they really want. They chase success, but whose definition of success are they following? They work hard, but for what purpose? Asking deep questions like, what truly matters to me? Or what kind of legacy do I want to leave? Forces you to gain clarity. It helps you strip away distractions and focus on what's essential. Because if you don't know where you're going, how will you ever get there? Every breakthrough in life starts with a single powerful question. What if? When you start questioning your limitations, you begin to see possibilities that were always there. You just weren't looking for them. The questions you ask yourself can either trap you in self-doubt or propel you forward. The choice is yours. Life will test you. You will face failure, rejection, and moments of uncertainty. But here's the difference between those who rise and those who crumble. The questions they ask themselves in difficult moments. Someone who fails and asks, why am I such a failure, will stay stuck. But someone who fails and asks, what can I learn from this? How can I grow stronger? Will come back even better. Your mind is like a search engine. It will find answers to whatever question you give it. If you ask it, why am I not good enough? It will come up with reasons. But if you ask, how can I improve? Your brain will start looking for solutions. Your life is a reflection of the questions you ask yourself daily. If you want a better life, start with better questions. Instead of asking, what should I do today? Ask, what can I do today that moves me closer to my goals? Instead of wondering, will I ever be successful? Ask, what action can I take right now to build success? The power of self-inquiry is that it puts you in control. It helps you take ownership of your thoughts, actions, and results. And when you master the ability to ask yourself the right questions, you unlock the ability to shape your own destiny. So, as you go through life, remember this: your questions create your reality. Choose them wisely. We live in a world that glorifies busyness. People wear exhaustion like a badge of honor, equating long hours and packed schedules with productivity and success. But here's the truth. Being busy is not the same as being productive. Activity does not always lead to progress. What truly matters is alignment, making sure that what you do each day is connected to your deeper purpose. Think about it. How many times have you reached the end of a long, exhausting day only to feel like you accomplished nothing meaningful? You answered emails, attended meetings, checked off tasks, but did any of it move you closer to your goals? Did it contribute to the life you truly want to build? This is the trap of mindless activity, the constant cycle of doing without direction. The antidote is alignment. When your daily actions align with your deeper purpose, work stops feeling like an obligation. Instead, it becomes an expression of who you are. You don't just do things for the sake of doing them, you do them because they matter. But alignment requires awareness. It requires asking yourself hard questions. Am I making intentional progress, or am I just staying busy to feel productive? The difference between those who achieve greatness and those who remain stuck isn't talent, it's focus. It's their ability to cut through distractions and focus only on what truly matters. Most people are not actually overwhelmed with work. They are overwhelmed with the wrong work. They fill their days with small, unimportant tasks because it gives them a sense of accomplishment, even if those tasks don't lead to any real results. Why? Because busyness is comfortable. It makes us feel like we're making progress, even when we're not. It keeps us from facing the difficult, high-impact tasks that actually require courage and intention. But if you're constantly exhausted and feeling unfulfilled, it's a sign that you're busy but not aligned. It's time to step back and realign. How to align your actions with your purpose, to find your North Star. What is your ultimate goal? What kind of impact do you want to make? If you don't have clarity on where you're going, you'll waste energy on things that don't matter. Prioritize high impact activities. Not all tasks are created equal. The 80/20 rule states that 80% of results come from 20% of actions. Identify the activities that truly move the needle and focus on those. Say no to distractions. Just because an opportunity comes your way doesn't mean it's right for you. Learn to say no to things that don't align with your mission. Reflect and adjust daily. At the end of each day, ask yourself, did my actions today align with my purpose? If not, make adjustments for tomorrow. True success is not about doing more, it's about doing what matters. When your daily actions are aligned with your deeper purpose, you stop feeling drained. Instead, you feel energized. You feel fulfilled. You wake up every morning with a sense of direction, knowing that your time and effort are being invested in something meaningful. So the next time you find yourself drowning in busyness, stop and ask, is this activity truly aligned with my purpose? Because at the end of the day, it's not about how much you did, it's about whether what you did truly mattered. Your morning is the foundation of your day. The first thoughts you allow into your mind will shape your decisions, your actions, and ultimately, your results. If you wake up filled with doubt, fear, or hesitation, you'll carry that energy with you. But if you start your day with conviction, confidence, and purpose, you'll lead with strength and clarity. That's the power of a growth mindset. A growth mindset isn't just about believing you can improve. It's about understanding that every day is an opportunity to become better. It's about shifting from limitation to possibility, from fear to courage, from excuses to action. And the best time to cultivate this mindset is the moment you wake up. Why your morning thoughts matter. Your brain is most impressionable in the morning. The thoughts you focus on within the first few moments of waking up set the neurological tone for the rest of your day. This is why people who start their mornings stressed, overwhelmed, or doubting themselves tend to stay in that mindset. Your brain will look for evidence to confirm whatever you believe first. If you wake up thinking, I'm not ready for this day, your brain will spend the rest of the day proving you right. You'll notice every mistake, every challenge, every reason why you're struggling. But if you wake up thinking today is another chance to grow, your brain will start scanning for opportunities. You'll notice solutions instead of problems. You'll approach challenges with resilience instead of fear. Before you even get out of bed, take control of your inner dialogue. Instead of letting negative thoughts dictate your mindset, be intentional about what you tell yourself. Try saying, today I choose growth. Today I choose possibility. Today I choose to show up as my best self. A growth mindset isn't just about believing in progress, it's also about recognizing what's already good. Start your morning by acknowledging at least one thing you're grateful for. Gratitude shifts your focus from what's lacking to what's already abundant, creating a mindset of possibility instead of scarcity. Before you start your day, take a moment to see yourself succeeding. Imagine yourself overcoming obstacles, handling challenges with confidence, and making progress toward your goals. When you see it in your mind first, it becomes easier to create in reality. A fixed mindset says, I can't do this. A growth mindset says, I can't do this yet, but I'm willing to learn. If doubt creeps in, don't let it take over. Instead, reframe it. Ask yourself, what's one step I can take to move forward? People with a growth mindset don't wait for motivation. They create it. They take action even when they don't feel ready. Start your day with a decision. I am in control of my attitude. I am responsible for my effort. I will make the most of today. Your mindset determines your reality. Every morning you have a choice. Will you let doubt and hesitation shape your day, or will you choose growth, confidence, and action? The way you start your morning isn't just a habit, it's a strategy for success. Because in the end, success isn't about luck or talent, it's about mindset. And your mindset starts the moment you wake up. We live in a results-driven world. Success is often measured by numbers, profits, achievements, followers, or accolades. And while results matter, they are not the most important thing. What truly matters is impact. Impact is about more than just what you accomplish. It's about how you serve, inspire, and uplift others. It's about the difference you make in people's lives, not just the goals you check off. When you focus solely on outcomes, you risk missing the bigger picture, but when you focus on impact, the right results follow naturally. Imagine two people working on the same goal. One is obsessed with results. They stress about every number, every milestone, and every external validation. The other focuses on impact. They ask, how can I make a difference today? How can I help someone? Who do you think will stay motivated? Who will feel more fulfilled? Who will build something that lasts? The truth is, when you focus on impact, the right outcomes take care of themselves. Success becomes a byproduct of service, passion, and value. The problem with outcome-obsessed thinking, when we chase outcomes, we often tie our self-worth to results. This kind of thinking creates pressure, anxiety, and burnout. It makes us impatient. It makes us cut corners. It makes us forget why we started in the first place. But when we focus on impact, we shift from ego-driven achievement to purpose-driven action. We stop measuring success by external validation and start measuring it by how much we contribute. True success isn't about how much you gain, it's about how much you give. Define your success by the impact you create, not just the trophies you collect. Focus on people, not just numbers. If you're in business, don't just chase profits, serve your customers better. If you're a leader, don't just chase promotions, empower your team. If you're an artist, don't just chase fame, create something that moves people. The best things in life take time. Focus on showing up, doing great work, and making an impact. The results will follow. Legacy is built on impact, not just achievements. At the end of your life, people won't remember the awards you won, the money you made, or the status you had. They will remember how you made them feel, how you helped them grow, and how you changed their lives. So instead of asking, what can I achieve today? Start asking, how can I serve today? Because when you focus on impact, you don't just succeed, you inspire. And that is a legacy worth leaving. Every great achievement, every breakthrough, every moment of transformation begins with a question. The questions you ask yourself don't just shape your day, they shape your life. Because the truth is your questions determine your focus and your focus determines your future. Most people don't realize this. They go through life on autopilot, asking themselves small, disempowering questions like, when you ask the wrong questions, your mind will find answers that confirm your doubts. If you ask, why am I not successful yet? Your brain will start listing all the reasons you're falling short. But if you ask, what can I do today to move closer to my goals? You activate a completely different mindset, one that leads to growth, action, and purpose. Your legacy isn't built in a day. It's built in the small moments, the daily decisions, the choices you make over time. And those choices are driven by the questions you ask yourself. Think about the greatest leaders, innovators, and change makers. They didn't just follow the status quo. They asked better questions. Instead of accepting things as they are, they questioned, they explored, they reimagined what was possible. And because they asked the right questions, they built something that outlasted them. Instead of, why is this happening to me? Ask, what can I learn from this? A meaningful life isn't just about personal success. It's about contribution. Ask, how can I use my talents to serve others? What kind of impact do I want to leave behind? The questions you ask today create the legacy you leave tomorrow. At the end of your life, your legacy won't be determined by chance. It will be shaped by the questions you ask yourself every day. If you ask the right questions, you'll make better decisions. If you make better decisions, you'll create a life of meaning, purpose, and impact. So every morning, instead of just making a to-do list, take a moment to ask yourself, what kind of person do I want to be today? What action can I take that aligns with my purpose? What legacy am I building with the choices I make? Because when you ask better questions, you create a life worth remembering. Every morning, you have a choice. You can start your day on autopilot, reacting to whatever comes your way, or you can take control by asking yourself the right question. Questions that bring clarity, inspire action, and align your day with your greater purpose. You begin to shape your day and ultimately your life with intention. The quality of your questions determines the quality of your life. They define how you lead, how you grow, and the legacy you leave behind. So tomorrow morning and every morning after that, take a moment to reflect. Ask yourself not just what you need to do, but who you want to become. Because when you start your day with the right questions, you set yourself up for a life of purpose, impact, and fulfillment. Thank you.